For our first story, we have I, single 48 female, woke up to this text this morning from my colleague, married 51 male, and friend of 5 link, single 48 female, woke up to this text this morning from my colleague, married 51 male, and friend of 5 years. I am so upset that he sent this to me. He said he's pretty sure none of this would come as a shock to me. Yes it did. I thought we were friends. We work in the same department and have to work together every single day. He's married. I, honest to God, thought our friendship has been nothing more than just that. Friends. I have asked myself if I've given any mixed singles and I swear I haven't. When we went to BWW 5 years ago, it was after we had to meet a customer together and so we went to lunch. I don't even remember what we talked about, but I promise you, it was small talk. I remember this lunch specifically because we both got COVID afterwards. I treat him the same way I treat my other colleagues, many also friends. I have always felt comfortable and safe around him because he is married, for 20 plus years. I was in a relationship 4 of the 5 years I have known him. I have never looked at him in a romantic way and never will. I don't understand why he would send this to me because it changes everything. I haven't responded to him because I don't know what to say. By the way, I go to lunch with him and other colleagues from time to time. We go as a group or sometimes one-on-one. I think I'm upset because I really appreciated his friendship and now I'm wondering what he expected from me after sending this text. Does he think I would get involved with him romantically? Did he think I wanted to hear this? WTF? I have told him my stance on people cheating and how I do not condone that kind of behavior. Since we work together so closely, we are both upper management, how do I handle this? What do I say? Here is the text, since I can't post screenshots to this forum, 5 years. For the past 5 years, since a day that we had a lunch at Buffalo Wild Wings, I have not been able to get you off my mind. It was really bad about 2 years ago when I would have given up everything I had just to have dinner with you, but I find that recently, it is happening again. To wake up in the middle of the night thinking about you is both confusing and exciting. I'm pretty sure none of this will come as a shock to you, but I'm telling you because I have needed to get it off my chest for years now and I know I need to stop before it causes any issues at work. I'm always comfortable telling you anything, and since I won't be seeing as much of you as in the past now that we are downstairs, I thought I would end the year by letting you know. Your sense of humor, confidence, strength, independence, motivation, risk-taking, etc. makes it hard for me to hold in telling you how beautiful I find you every time I see you. Every day there is something different that has me realizing just how special you are. I hope 2025 brings you the health and happiness that you deserve. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Nothing says romantic fixation like Buffalo Wild Wings." Our second commenter says, "Cover your ass by taking a screenshot and saving any text messages. Let him know you see your relationship as purely professional. And tell him not to approach you in a romantic way again. You have every right to be pissed." Our third commenter says, "You need to shut this shit down. Be really direct with him. Tell him that you are not interested in him romantically. And hold him accountable for how inappropriate it was for him to message this to a coworker. You have done nothing wrong. If anyone should feel awkward here, it is him." For our second story, we have married 10 years wife female 34 just admitted to cheating on me link wife told me today while we were putting away the Xmas decorations that she had sex with someone else a couple months ago. It came out of nowhere. She went to the pub with the girls on her birthday a couple months ago. Apparently got so drunk she couldn't remember anything. This has been a repeated problem this year, which she promised she was going to control how much she drinks. I was asleep but got woken up by her coming home at about 4 a.m. She seemed fairly drunk. She came upstairs and we had sex, which usually happens as she's pretty horny when she gets home. The following morning she couldn't find her phone anywhere, so we traced her steps back to the pub without luck. My wife then suggested checking the park, which was a few minutes walk up the road from the pub. When we got there I realized it was a pretty secluded park. My wife found her phone and seemed somewhat on edge. On the drive back home I questioned what the hell happened last night, why was she there? She burst into tears saying she can't remember and promised not to drink like that again. She seemed genuinely shaken by what could have happened but promised nothing happened. Well, after falling out about that for a few days, I dropped it and pretty much forgot about it. Then today, out of the blue, she admitted she had sex with someone that night in the park. Apparently she can't remember and found out from the guy's mates that he had sex with her in the park that night a couple weeks later. She is telling me she doesn't know who the guy she slept with or his mates and can't tell me anything. My first thought was she was potentially raped being so drunk, but my wife is sure she would have consented and won't say no more on the matter. Trust me, I want answers. She said she got an STI check done mid-November, which thankfully came back clear. The fact that she slept with me that night too and kept this whole thing secret until today and killed me inside, I feel disgusting. We have 4 kids together, 14, 13, 10 and 7. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I want what's best for the kids, but I don't think I can be around her anymore. I feel so betrayed and empty inside, I don't know what to do. It felt like a knife to my heart, and then my feelings were gone shortly after hearing the confession. I feel angry, sure, but also so empty it's confusing. My wife has been begging me to forgive her and to try again for the sake of the kids. I honestly don't think I can. I work 60 to 70 hours a week, I don't really have anyone to talk to, no close friends. I don't want to tell anyone in fear her family finds out, but I can't pretend that everything is normal either. I apologize for spelling, grammar. I'm currently sat in the dark sleeping on the sofa typing this on my phone, sad face. Edit, I'm male 38 not 48. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, hang on. She can't remember going to the park but told you to look in the park. Found the phone in a secluded park. Guess she knew where to look, either she remembers or she goes there often and thought she may have done it again. Doesn't read well either way. I'm so sorry, bud. Get your money back in that trip. Our second commenter says, thank you for the replies. I think I just needed some support on the right thing to do. I want what's right for the kids, but a loveless, broken home isn't right. She wants me to continue living here and says she can make me love her again. There's no chance I can't forgive this, and I don't want to be in the same 4 walls as her. Our third commenter says, she's a fucking mess. Let's ignore that she cheated on you for a moment, but damn. Who the hell goes out, gets shit-faced, and then fucks a random man she doesn't know in a public park? That's trashy and gross. Divorce this dumpster fire for multiple reasons. For our last story, we have, how do I tell my wife, 37 female, who has BPD, that she is losing me, 37 male, and our 9 and 11-year-old. The basic backstory is my wife has BPD, anxiety and depression. Over the last 3 to 4 years she's gotten progressively worse. She's at the point where she can hardly hold a job, doesn't help with any household tasks, doesn't interact with our kids, and has no interests except smoking weed and chatting with dudes on Snap because it makes her feel better. Big kicker. Last July, she offered my minor niece weed and sent her a link to a NSFW kink test. CPS obviously not involved, police, etc. I was cleared instantly. She admitted to everything, had 0 repercussions. It's like it gave her free rein to do whatever she wants. I held my daughter Monday night while she cried to me about how she wished her mom cared about her as much as her mom cares about her friends. My son straight up said he'd rather spend his holiday break with his grandparents if she's just going to sleep and not hang out with him. They're hurting, we all are. When CPS came around, she took off, said she was moving back to West Coast US. Her brother convinced her to come back. I'd file for divorce, but I know she's sick, she goes to therapy, finally. I have a lawyer on retainer and papers have been ready since August to serve. So twofold. How do I approach her with all of this? She needs an ultimatum at minimum, but she'll just shut down. I've read the books and talked with therapists, and everything we've tried to do to get a conversation going fails. It's beyond time she hears how badly her kids and I are hurting. Or do I skip that and just file? CPS already failed them once, even the police were amazed she was cleared after admitting everything, and since she was cleared all they could do was a counter ticket for the weed. I cannot get sole custody as a male in my state. My lawyer has said as much. I can just imagine the hell they'd have, even limited time with her. It's all screwed up. Anyone else ever been in something like this? Or have anything? I'm at wit's end. Update. Went to talk with her when she got home. I didn't just come attack her with accusations, but chatted for a few minutes. Then asked if we could have a conversation about the kiddos, and some things they'd told me about how they're feeling. I said one thing. They said they're confused about what's going on, and don't feel loved like they used to. She shut down instantly. Sat in silence for a few minutes, told her I'd really like to talk because I am worried about them, and got hit with, "You're just Mr. Perfect. I might as well just go back home. None of you need me, obviously. Just leave me alone. I'll be changing a few things on the papers tomorrow and have my lawyer file." That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Dude. Put your kids first. Divorce her and get therapy for everyone. Poor kids." Our second commenter says, "Protect your kids, man. The harm being done by being in that environment is going to cause lifelong emotional damage for those children. My dad was absent most of my life, and that had led me to be in a much better state than he was in my life, constantly hurting. Is it easy? No, I still have a lot of damage, but when I see the people in my life who did have similar situations to you, they suffered so much more every day. I know your wife is sick, but if she can't actively at least do no harm, then it's not safe for you or your children. She needed to do the work to heal and better herself while you were doing so much for her and the children. You're not selfish or a terrible person for putting you and your kids first." Our third commenter says, "My mom has BPD, BP, anxiety, depression, and prolonged grief syndrome. She didn't choose to get the proper help till a year ago, in her 60s. I used to cry to my dad and ask why my mom doesn't love me. He divorced her and it was for the best. I still hardly saw her. She was also an alcoholic and drug user. If I did go spend the night at her place, she would be out all night and sometimes not come home. She justified it being okay because I was 15. But I now have a wonderful stepmom, and I have grown up to realize that my mom was incapable of loving me at times. I would serve the papers. My mom waited till my brother overdosed to get help. He had his own mental issues and lived with her at the time. Don't risk your children's lives." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.